Hey, it's your friend Austin from Houston. Just want to give you a really quick recap of what is going on in the market. I think you'll be interested to find out. We're going to start with just the interest rates. So guess what? Interest rates are down. As of yesterday, average interest rates are 6.63%. This is the first time it's been below 6.63 since April 10th. So will they continue going down? Some people say yes. Some people say not on my watch. Not going to happen. So we're not going to look at condos today. Days on the market. In the month of July, we ended at 47. Things were a little bit faster in June, but at 47. Right now, we're a week into the month of August, and days on market are currently at 48. So probably just staying around there. Let's look at the average sales price right now. In July was $433,000 was the average sales price of a single family home in the Houston market. That was $17,000 lower than the month of July. So if you go back to July of 2024, you go back 12 months, average sales price going back 12 months is $424,888. 424. So we're actually we're above the 12-month average. June was just great. It's actually been not that bad. You see a drop and people get upset because average sales price dropped, and that is important. But also keep in mind that June was high. It was higher than it had been since going back. Oh my goodness. I mean, June was our best month on record. So what does that mean? I don't know. 450, that was the highest we had been. There is still something to say about the original list price, 487 and 433, because it's going to affect, the list price really does have an effect on the sales price. And I'll show you here, because homes that, keep in mind, average sales price in July was 433, but if you sold it in the first month, it sold for $7,000 more. So if you're pricing the property right, the average sales price in the month of July for properties on the market for 30 days or less sold for $440. Once you get into that 31 to 60 day, the average sales price drops to $525. Now, it's interesting to note that they do go back up, and the trends, if you go back to June, it went back up. If you went back to May, it goes up. There's this window, this 31 to 60 day window where the prices are really low and they eventually go up. So yeah, if you miss your opportunity, then it does pay to be patient. However, it never returns back to what you could have sold it for in the first month. So this data doesn't lie. Active inventory, we did end with 42,716 active units on the market. We're at 43,000 right now. That's crazy. Let's look at new listings. So we had 17,815 listings hit the market in the month of July. Out of 42,700, only 8,000 of those sold. So 19% of all the single family homes that are on the market are actually selling right now, which is pretty ridiculous, because you just go back to May, we were at closer to 30%. So that's the difference between 19% and 30% is significant. It's a 50% drop in sales. New construction, this is weird. 28.5% of all the sales in July were brand new construction. People still love new homes. People are really interested in buying a house that doesn't need a lot of work, that has warranties. Another thing that the new builders is those interest rates. They're able to get lower interest rates with new construction. I'm friends with a lot of great, amazing lenders, and yeah, they all tell me the same thing, that it's really difficult to compete with these new builds. And then expireds, nothing big there. A little bit drop in expireds, but what does it mean? I still haven't figured out if it actually means anything, but overall, market is still a little consistent. Just because the average sales price of homes dropped last month, that doesn't necessarily mean that everything's going down, because if you follow the trend line over the last 12 months, we are still up. And it's very unusual if you really think about it. Days on market is high. Days on market is probably too high. I'm going to show you days on market again. Being that historically, being at 48, we're a little faster than earlier, but what's really like the weirdest thing is days on market are of course high, but they've been high before. Like 60s were normal back before COVID. So days on market is not the craziest thing, but what's the crazy thing is this inventory count. But the point that I want to get across is that even though inventory is at an all-time high, the homes that are selling at an all-time high as well. So what do you do with that information? Not quite sure. It's still a good time to sell. It's just more challenging. And if you price it right, you're going to make the most money you've ever made ever if you sell it now and price it right. If you list it now and price it high, you're going to leave a lot of money on the table. And I think that is pretty consistent with what we're seeing this year. So again, my name is Austin for Houston. Thanks for watching the stream. Thanks for watching the video. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Hit the notification bell. Leave me a comment. Show me some love. Bye.